Shooting with 35mm film, my POV. Let's get straight into it. I shoot with the Canon EOS 300, and this again has been in my family for years, not bought it. And this is actually surprisingly good because you got so many options of what to dial in, like so you can be on automatic, which is a bit of a cheat sheet, but you can be on manual as well, but it's very confusing almost because there's an ISO setting and then there's an aperture setting and then there's just an M setting. So still getting to grips with that. But yeah, firstly, let's just talk about film photography in general. I primarily shoot in black and white whenever I get the chance. And I shot in expired film once, like colour film. I'll put some images up. Very interesting. I didn't know it was expired until I'd got the shots back. I kind of just put it in, started shooting. But this was a while ago. This was like 2-3 years ago. It was a Kodak 200, I'm pretty sure, I want to say. Still very interesting results. So no matter what film you're shooting with, you're still going to get very interesting photos, let's just say. Even if they're expired, if that's a look that you're going for, you can do that. But one of the beauties of shooting in film is that you can't see the result until the actual developing process and everything happens. So that's when you see the actual first photo, which is mad, to be honest, because digital, I don't like this photo, delete. You can't really do that with film. But let's talk about ISO, because ISO is very important when it comes to film rolls as well as in general. Basically, every single film roll that you buy has an ISO on it. And my go-to black and white film brand is definitely Ilford FP4 Plus 125. That 125 number is the ISO. So it's going to result in less grain and more image quality. Because the lower the ISO, the better. Because you get like film photos that are like 800 ISO. It's going to be a lot of grain. But I mean, that can also be a nice effect again. But yeah, this is my go-to film, Ilford. Haven't bought any colour from them yet. But they also do some colour. So if you want, check them out. I'll try and see if I can link them. And yeah, film is getting very expensive these days though. Kodak 200 is like £10 for one roll. 36 shots, which is crazy. But another thing, that leads me to how long I actually use one film roll for. If it's got 36 shots, let's say like the Ilford, I've been shooting, I still have a roll in this. I've got 6 shots left. I've been shooting this since August of 2023. Now we're in March of 2024. So that's the beauty, because I don't remember the first half of what I shot in this. So that should be fun to find out. And it's just nice. It's a nice way of collecting memories, but not having it straight away, because then once you've got them all developed, you see all 36 shots, and it's just a nice thing. But yeah, this is my go-to film at the moment, and I love using Ilford. I think they're a new brand, I want to say. Very affordable as well, I hope. Although I think this is like £7.50 now, because I bought this like a while back. I bought it in a bulk pack. But yeah, again, the lower the ISO, the less the grain and sharper images, like I said. I would suggest, if you want to get into film photography and stuff like that, start with a point and shoot, because I feel like that's going to teach you so much of the basics. Like, I really want a point and shoot, but it's basically like I have one. This is a point and shoot plus, to be honest, because if I really wanted to, I could just stick it on automatic and shoot, but that's not what I want to do. A point and shoot also just feels more authentic. I feel like this is like the modern way of shooting film now with this camera, which is also nice, don't get me wrong. But with a point and shoot, I feel like you can get to grips with film and just how to shoot in film in general. Also, it's a very painful and long process to shoot in film, so just be aware of that. Like, there's going to be so much trial and error. You're never going to get a shot perfect or how you envision it in your head, and you can't see it as well for months on end or however long you shoot. But just keep that in mind, as well as wanting to get everything perfect, sort of, because it is quite hard, especially on film. But trying like new techniques, I really want to do that with this next roll, is trying like double exposure, long exposure, everything like that in film. I feel like would be very exciting to do. So please do keep experimenting with it. I feel like that's such an important thing with any piece of photography. But I want to say currently what I've been doing on this set of assign each film roll with a theme. So the one that I've been shooting on currently, which I've got 6 shots left, is all been portraits. Literally nothing else. It's all been portrait. And I feel like I've got some good shots. I don't know yet, but I've done a few portraits here and there before in film. And they've really paid off with especially the Nifty 50, the 50mm lens. That's what I've been using currently on this, but I'm currently recording on it, so I can't show you guys. But yeah, no, it's such a rewarding thing, because I feel like 50mm, you can almost use it to every single sort of photography, but portrait photography especially is amazing. Like just lowering that aperture, just getting that shallow depth of field wherever you can. But also just being very versatile with it, not pushing it all the way to 1.8, like just keeping it at 4.5 or something like that, and just keeping, especially because it's a prime lens as well, it really makes you think about the shot, like, oh, okay, right, what do I want to be in frame, what distractions do I want to get rid of, everything like that. That's why the 50mm is such a fundamental part to learning about photography in general, especially if you're a beginner. Like, this is the first lens that you should actually invest in my opinion, because the prime lens, you need to learn the framing and the composition and everything like that, especially when you need those fundamental skills for film photography as well. Another thing with film photography, if you're planning on shooting in manual mode, you're going to need to know the exposure triangle, which I'll put up here. It's essentially the same as like digital photography, except you can't look at it, which makes it worse. Because, yeah, I mean, you don't know if you've done it right or... Yeah, but I think another thing that helps with, if you're going to shoot manually, like getting a light meter app, which literally tells you all the settings and everything for the times that you're shooting at. I've got this one called Lightmate on my iPhone. Don't know if you can get it on Android. And that helps so much, like, just so that I know that I can have that extra reassurance of, oh, okay, am I actually using the right settings, everything like that. Another reason why I use a prime lens is because I feel like they work a lot better with film cameras, and it's just, I don't know, the image quality is just a touch better. I feel like, that might just be me thing, but I feel like the image quality is so much better with a prime lens than a zoom lens. So yeah, that's another take. And getting back to shooting on one roll of film, 3 to 6 months is how much I pushed them. I shot my first roll of black and white within 2 weeks. Worst decision ever. Just running about, just taking pictures of anything just because I wanted to see them developed. Worst thing to do. Even if you're starting off, like, don't do that. I know it's exciting. I know it's new. It's better than the traditional photography because you're like, oh, I want to see it. But don't rush the process. Like, as long as you can, because I feel like it's just a better way of experimenting with film. And if you want to shoot in film in the future, you know exactly what to do when you space out everything. If you just keep going and going, then it's gonna not lead to the best results because you're rushing. And that's same with digital. If you rush digital shoots, and film is very expensive, guys. So just savor it. But there are a lot of underrated film companies coming up now. Instead of like before how it was with just your Kodaks and stuff like that. Now there's a lot more people getting thrown into the mix, especially for color film. Like, yeah, and I really want to invest in some color film next because black and white is lovely, but I really do want to start getting into color and doing more color photography. And I'd say make sure to start off with 35mm film, unless you guys are sick and want to go for medium format. I still haven't touched medium format yet, and I love 35mm film. I feel like you get a lot for your money, to be fair, depending on whether you go for 24 or 36 shots. These Ilford ones have always been 36 shots for me, unless you probably can get 24. Try up for the 36 if you can. And I'm going to link down some good websites where I get my film from, if you guys need a plug. Not my plug, not sponsored either. But yeah, no. And that's it for this video, guys. I hope it's been a helpful one and an informative one. And I'll see you guys on the next one.